In 2025, there are several iPad models to choose from. With some recent updates, here's which iPad makes sense for you and why. Before we get into the lineup, if you want to keep up to date with the latest Apple news and reviews, hit that subscribe button. I'm going to walk you through all the iPads, and at the end, I'll even share some deals to save some money. There are currently 6 iPads in Apple's lineup. On the low end, we have the 2025 11th generation iPad. After that comes the iPad Air, available in both 11-inch and 13-inch sizes. Here I have the 13-inch. Then we have the 7th generation iPad mini in the mix. Finally, we have 11 and 13-inch versions of the iPad Pro. Again, I am fond of the 13-inch size here. Let's talk about the pros and cons of each of these, and I'll help you decide which is best for you. Starting out with the iPad mini. Personally, the iPad mini is my absolute favorite. It's so incredibly compact. It's easy to travel with, and I love it for falling back on the couch or in bed to read or play games or watch something. It helpfully has the A17 Pro inside, which is enough to give it solid performance. The same as on iPhone 15 Pro and 15 Pro Max. Most games I've played on it have been perfectly fine, and it's capable enough to support Apple Intelligence. I don't do a ton of content creation stuff on iPad mini and find it better for content consumption, though it is, again, not really underpowered at all. But with Apple Intelligence, it does have ChatGPT integration, which is helpful to look stuff up, and maybe eventually we'll get that new version of Siri too. I think iPad mini also has commercial applications as well, great for employees and things like that, but that's not what we're talking about here. I just kind of find the iPad mini a bit niche, even if it is my favorite. Not everyone wants a small screen. It's not overly powerful with the high-end M series chip, but it's also kind of pricey at the same time. I think those that want an iPad mini know they want an iPad mini. Let me know what you think of the iPad mini specs. Should Apple make a cheaper one with lower specs, or should it make a higher-end version that's even more powerful? Sound off in the comments. Personally, I take an iPad mini Pro for sure. Moving to the regular tablets in the lineup, the base 11th gen iPad is the one to go with for a lot of applications. It has a lower A-series chip in the A16, which is not enough for Apple Intelligence. The people who are looking at the base iPad just want an iPad. Kids, older family members, anyone like that. This is what I easily recommend to my grandma. It has plenty of power for reading, checking emails, going online, messaging, FaceTime calls, all of that without issue. It's going to struggle with more intensive games like Assassin's Creed or Rainbow Six, things that work just fine on iPad mini and the rest of the lineup. It's also a non-laminated display, which puts a gap between the top glass and the actual LCD. Typical use, fine, but it has an almost hollow feel when you tap on it. Again, I'd say for those who just want a starter tablet or aren't doing anything beyond casual tasks or games. iPad is an incredibly cool slab of metal and glass that years later I still fawn over. And a lot of the time, I like it as is, with no case. But with the right accessories, you can take it even further. Like when I'm working on a shoot outside, I get nervous and I want to add some sort of protection, like the ESR flip case with a magnetic Apple Pencil holder. I can prop it up into portrait view to read my notes or scenes, or I can use the adjustable stand and back for watching content or drawing. All for $22. For ultimate productivity, there is the ESR Rebound case that may top Apple's Magic Keyboard. The back magnetically necks for easy removal and a cool hovering effect. There's a large multi-touch trackpad with gesture support and backlit keys, something even Apple's doesn't have this time around. Finally, I may have found my favorite third-party stylus. The ESR Geo Pencil is comparable to Apple Pencil Pro, but for only $29. It has palm rejection, tilt sensitivity, and a fine 1.5mm tip, a battery display, and a cool shortcut button for automations. Best of all, it supports the Apple Find My app, so you'll never lose it. If you want to check any of these out, I put links in the description. The iPad for most people will probably be the base iPad Air, or even a last-gen iPad Air if you can still find them on sale. The 2025 iPad Air was updated with an M3 processor on the inside, and that's basically it. So I'm very happy to recommend the M2 or the new M3 iPad Air, depending on what's on sale in the configuration that you'd like. It's basically the perfect iPad spec-wise. You've got a very capable chip, 2 sizes to choose from, Apple Intelligence, more storage, and even a new Magic Keyboard to go with it. It's fantastic across the board for games to actual productivity. Students in high school and college are perfect targets for this model. They can multitask and watch a video while writing a paper and still have their Twitter feed going on the side. Also, fantastic for content creation. Run Final Cut Pro, CapCut, iMovie, or whatever you need for creating videos or podcasts. The newer model even has additional video engines to make working with video faster. There's also Apple Pencil Pro support here, which makes it a solid choice for artists, especially if you want that larger 13-inch canvas without splurging on an iPad Pro. So again, artists, students, content creators, those who want a balance between performance, price, and size, especially if you find the M2s on sale. Which brings us all to the pros. I'll tell you now, you don't need a Pro. Very few people need an iPad Pro. Do you want an iPad Pro? That's a different question. A lot of what makes an iPad Pro is a lot of small quality of life improvements that are just nice, like the gorgeous tandem mini LED display with super deep blacks and high brightness, or its ultra thin design. It's a bit faster with the M4 chip and even includes Thunderbolt support for high-speed drives. There's Pro Motion for a higher refresh rate on the display and Face ID to make it easier to unlock when you're using it. For what's out there now, iPad Pro is overkill. It's amazing, but overkill for most average users. It is well suited for prosumers or high-end content creators who don't mind splurging on it, or actual professionals who want a very high-end monitor and the fastest tablet that they can get. Look, whatever you pick, it's going to be great. They're all iPads. They all share a lot of similarities in iPad OS, and they're all very capable. If you're in the market for an iPad, I've put some links down below in the description. There's also the AppleInsider price guide that we update near daily with the best deals on iPad and really all Apple products. You can find it at prices.appleinsider.com or linked in the description. Otherwise, subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next video.